food is the staff of life. Things have really drastically changed when it comes to buying food. It's just been very, very expensive. I cannot afford to buy the things I used to, or if I go in with $100, I'd get maybe a smaller bag than what I used to get.
We've really felt it. Like you go to the grocery store and like a dozen eggs is like $12.
Avocados are good. Some eggs.
When you forage sustainably, it can be a way of bringing all kinds of delicious food back home to the table, and you can do so for free.
In the US, our food system reflects more than just what we eat. It reveals a deep disconnection from how we think about food access. In San Francisco, roughly 160 tons of food is wasted per day, much of it still perfectly edible. This isn't just inefficiency, it's a symptom of a broken system.
My name is Kelly Garrity, and I work for the City and County of San Francisco, specifically the Environment Department. Grocery stores tend to discard items or produce or products that aren't aesthetically pleasing. Or expiration dates is a whole nother issue, right? Like expiration dates don't have any validity. Grocery store doesn't want to look bad because they put something on the shelf that says used by this date. But the reality is there's so many products, produce and packaged goods that are great well beyond that date. I don't think people are thinking holistically about that. And I think there is just such a vast disconnect these days from our food system.
Okay, welcome. It's the last day here of residents at Clark Kerr campus. Tomorrow they have to move out, so a lot of the stuff that was in their dorms are being pushed out. It's mid-May 2025. Well, I checked the green bin, which is typically for food recycling, and there's a lot of like cheap, easy dinner food here right now. The punk rockers nicknamed me Eggplant. I've been called a urban forager or a dumpster diver. Found some more of the noodles. There's a tendency of like once it passes through somebody's hands, they don't want to consider where it goes. So that's a lot of times people don't want to consider impact, I think. Well, I do feel like it's madness because we've kind of prioritized consumption and kind of creating things for the sake of sale. It's not a well thought out system of governance.
I would say urban foraging can be really wild. You're getting this like snapshot into industrial production. How in the hell does this even happen?
Here's some of the stuff that I got from when we were at Clark Kerr that I have to get into. Sometimes people might ask, why do you dumpster dive? Oh yeah, with some corn. If anything, I appreciate the hunt. Being able to kind of look and then be able to discover.
All these plants we're walking past have some kind of purpose. Some of them are edible, some of them are medicinal. That's wild radish right there. This one as well.
So I'm Kevin Smith. I'm a doctor of anthropology. Specifically, I'm an archaeologist. The more you forage, the more you kind of unlock this pattern around you where you realize there's food that you walk past every single day. Your foraging today is to walk down the aisle at the local supermarket. People have no concept of what it takes to bring a fish to the table or bring greens to the table. And I do see foraging in contrast to the modern food society.
If you find a whole dumpster full of lettuce, then it's a different feeling that is invoked, right?
Connecting people with their food through an experience with their environment. Getting away from the Walmart kind of buy, consumer-driven kind of thing, and actually getting out and experiencing where your food comes from.
In a system that relies on us believing food only comes with a price tag, foraging becomes an act of resistance. against control and against waste, embodying the values of a more sustainable future.
In the Bay Area, it's actually illegal to forage for plants on public land in most places. Governments will put in place strict laws to keep people from getting free food because it forces you to then have to rely on their system and buy from them.
It's unfortunate that there's so much antagonism between people who are running businesses and people who are needy for food.
But being able to forage within an urban environment, knowing that food boxes exist, knowing that there's an excess of food available.
So East Bay Food Not Bombs started over 30 years ago. We're taking food that would otherwise be thrown out and giving it to people who would otherwise need it. I was always questioning the public policy lens, why don't we have free food banks that are just in every community that's hey, this is about to expire, do you want it first? Foraging, dumpster diving, small associations or community groups like Food Not Bombs, we're shifting the narrative of needing those big profitable corporations or agribusiness to have basic consumption.
Once I was dumpster diving the Trader Joe's in Emeryville, and an employee told me to get out. And as I was leaving, he was trying to lecture me about how I'll need to grow up and change my lifestyle someday. I feel the same way towards him, mainly because of this kind of anti-capitalist critique that I come from, where it's just kind of insane that we're wasting so much just for the sake of a few people having profit. So I thought at that moment when he was telling me that I will need to change my lifestyle someday, I was like, well, I'm going to probably have to change the way that he's living as well. So do you want baking powder?
You can use like a gigantic thing of
And laundry stuff?